Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the podcast Strikes Back. My name is George, and you're listening to the weekly movie show with the boys Connor.
Hello.
Benny.
Hi there.
Guys, here we are for another awesome week. Thank you for tuning in. We got some really cool stuff to talk about, including some marketing material, poster, whatever it is, leaked images from Star Wars Episode 9, our first look at it, plus Annabelle Comes Home trailer, plus some other stuff. It's going to be cool. I'm pumped. Also, right about now, go check out our Us review. We got a ton of spoilers in there. That's up right now. And we've also, this Saturday, we've got something really cool. Our Infinity War live stream commentary that's going to be on Facebook. So tune in on Facebook this Saturday, midday. Guys, are you pumped? Are you pumped for Infinity War, this commentary?
Damn it, you prepared us on this question. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
See, this is why I prepared you, because I'm like, yeah.
Yes.
As
correct.
a matter of fact,
I mean,
yes.
as pumped as you can be to watch a film and talk over it.
Watch a great movie with your good friends. What could be
Less
better in
so,
life, Connor?
less so the commentary, but are you pumped to watch Infinity War, the
I mean,
film?
I'm always excited to watch them.
When was the last time you saw it?
Probably 3-4 months ago, maybe.
Okay.
2-3 months ago.
Cool.
Yeah, I rewatched it. Kind of, I think, just before Christmas. And thoroughly enjoyed it. It was my first viewing of it outside a movie theater. And it was one of those movies that I was kind of worried wasn't going to translate well to home theater, but it did. So that was a relief.
Just get a soundbar.
Man, I've got full surround. I don't fuck about with this shit.
I've said it very recently, so I'm all caught up. I'm just here for the bands.
Cool.
Yeah, nice. Well done.
That's going to be fun, guys.
Ben, does George usually wear a hat on the podcast?
I don't. I'm not sure.
This is one of those things that really freaks me out when George changes something, and I think, like, has it been there the entire time?
You wear hats on the podcast. You do realize that.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just like it's freaking me out.
I'm saying it's a bad thing.
I mean, it's pretty sunny out there, so
yeah, and that
got to protect
right
that
now.
neck, you
right in
know.
this room. It's to go with our new setup in here.
Oh, what's up?
Oh,
We're kitted out with some pretty cool boom arms and some nice new recording gear. So we got some cool aesthetic changes in the pipeline coming at you, including this hat. Like, this is an aesthetic change that comes along with everything.
I genuinely regret bringing up the hat. Apologize.
Well, you got to bring up something about me because you're my number one fan.
That's one word for it.
All right, let's catch up on what everyone's been watching. Who's going first?
I'll get the disappointment out of the way.
Justified. Season
Justified.
3. This show, it's really cool. It's really
Finished
great
season
characters.
5.
It's
It was
amazing
nice
to
to
watch
see-
it all in one go. See the arcs from the
Evolution.
beginning and the evolution
See
of
how
the series.
TV's changed
Fuck,
over the
it's
years.
6 seasons. Give me a break. I've been pumping through like at least a season a week. So come on, to my credit, that's pretty good. No, I just finished season 5. One of the interesting things that was mentioned by my girlfriend, and it wasn't something I had really remembered about the series, is that Raylan, the main character, he really does end up just being a dick, and a lot of the commentary from the other characters throughout the series is like, you're just a bit of an asshole, or a lot of an asshole. And in that last season, you can kind of see it. You're like, well, yeah, I get it.
I can see it right from the beginning. I mean, that seems like his number one personality trait.
There's a lot of kind of smoothness that goes over that kind of, masks that. So yeah, finishing up season 5, on to season 6. Hopefully that'll be finished this week. It gets to that point where you're just like, I need this to be done because it just feels like a task now. Not
Watching
I'm not enjoying it.
70 hours of anything is a lot.
It's a lot, yeah, right? I watched... I kind of spattered around Netflix's comedy offerings. I didn't really stay on. I don't think I watched a full episode or a full special, but I probably would have gone in between about 3 or 4 of them. I couldn't even tell you their names, to be honest. And it kind of gives me an idea that Netflix has a pretty massive range when it comes to its comedy specials. I mean, there's some that they've got some really big names. They've got Dave Chappelle, they got Segura, they got all these, well-known comedians. And then they've got like these nobodies, and it is really a toss of the coin as to whether they are any good. and some of them are very lackluster.
I would say with the big names, it's a toss of the coin. With the smaller names, it's like winning the lottery, finding a good one.
Honestly, comedy is stand-up comedy in particular. I find it very, very difficult to find some, there's only a few gems. There's 10, 30, 50 out of there that are fantastic. And then the rest is just, maybe in the audience, it's fun, once you had a few whiskeys and whatnot, but I know exactly what you mean, man. And 3 minutes, 7 minutes into the special, I go, I'm done with this. I'm moving on.
That's not to say that I don't really like what Netflix is doing. I think that them, giving an avenue for comics to get out there is really cool. I really enjoy that, and it makes those gems that you were talking about, Ben, like those lottery wins, very much worth it. Because when you find a good comedian that that you really enjoy, that's really kind of an awesome moment. So yeah, I appreciate what they're doing, but sometimes you just run into a couple of just real stinkers, and you're like, that's unfortunate. So that, and then finally I watched Us, and we've got that review up now. So yeah, I'll save that one for the review.
Yeah, that was very telling. I feel George just cracked his knuckles the second Connor said Us.
Yeah, he's like, fucking say a word.
I'm ready for war.
No, yeah, so I thought I was going to come in with some, interesting opinions compared to you, but I figured that George might be angling for that.
Oh, this is going to be special, guys. Podium. Tune in.
Okay.
It's going to be three of us harmoniously agreeing to all of our surprise.
We were all coming
I'm so excited for that.
So ready
Whatever
to
happens, I'm excited.
Argue with each other, and then came in just being like, oh yeah, we all agree on that. It was shit.
No, but that's one that there's a lot to it. So
yeah. Oh yeah.
Spoilers is going to be really, really jam-packed for that one. I'll go next. I watched Us as well, and then I also watched Get Out. Jordan Peele's Get Out. Decided to chuck that one on again. I don't think I've seen it since it came out in the cinema.
I haven't.
And
I'll jump in, Georgie. I watched Us and then immediately watched Get Out that night as well. Yeah.
How was it for you?
It was great. I watched Us twice on the opening day, and then went home and watched Get Out with someone who had not seen it before.
You got peeled.
Yeah, it was a big old peel of a day, and it was again the first time I'd seen it since the cinema, and I remember the hype for that movie was so high that it was hard to be blown away by it in any way. But watching it with more moderated eyes was a really good experience. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Honestly, the watching it with knowledge of what happens, there's so many good clues and there's so many good little misdirects with what you think's going on.
Oh man, you hate one character in particular so much from the get-go when you've already seen it. It's amazing.
Yeah, exactly. So I just thought how well written it was. It's so tightly put together, like 1 hour 45, not a minute wasted. I think the characters build up really nice. The comedy's fantastic in it as well. The concepts, it's actually pretty out there. Some of the concepts in it, it's not your atypical sort of horror films or even thriller, whatever you would call it. So yeah, I just had such a good time, and I was a little bit nervous putting it on because I was like, am I going to love it as much as I did in the cinema? And I probably loved it even more.
Yeah, I definitely liked it more.
So yeah, it was a good experience.
Cool. Watch anything else?
No. That's it.
All right. What did I watch this week? Us and Get Out, obviously. I got some random ones this week. I watched this 90s throwback.
The Mummy.
The Faculty.
The Faculty? Is that Harrison Ford?
It's a Robert Rodriguez film. I think that's The Fugitive you're thinking of.
No, I'm definitely not thinking of The Fugitive. The Fugitive is one of my favorites.
The Faculty. It's basically a Invasion of the Body Snatchers redo set in a school. It's got the most like 90s cast you've ever seen. It's even got Jon Stewart in it, funnily enough, in an acting role.
Talk show host.
Yeah. In just a random acting role, yeah.
So you're saying this is the
Josh
90s
Hartnett,
one?
Elijah Wood, directed by Robert Rodriguez, which I did not know until the credits started, and I was like, okay, wow. But yeah, just a weird little 90s throwback alien invasion movie. I'm not recommending it at all. It took me two sittings to get through, but it was just a funny kind of look back at that time.
Cool.
Then I watched one that I think you guys mentioned a couple of weeks ago. You'd both seen Doom, starring The Rock.
I haven't seen Doom.
You haven't seen Doom? Okay.
Yeah, I watched that mid last year.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I just assumed you'd watch it when it came out.
Oh, and that too.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll just be clear, very clear here. I've never seen Doom.
I love Doom, man. The more people hate it, the more I love it.
As you, Georgie, the guy who loves Event Horizon, that doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah.
This movie is so thoroughly unremarkable. Except for the one thing everyone remembers, which is the 5-minute long first person scene towards the end, where it's literally like a video game. You're looking down the barrel of a gun as the guy's running around blowing away all these monsters, which in a movie, as I said, so unremarkable, actually was an interesting choice and bizarre, but it was something. And also what really surprised me was the final boss battle at the end, which, spoilers, who cares, is between The Rock and what's his name?
The Rock's makeup is so cool.
Yeah, but the fight is really well put together.
Carl Urban, it's Carl Urban, right?
Yeah, Carl Urban and The Rock are fighting, and it's like the hits fucking land.
Come on, man! What a cast!
It's a really good fight, and it's a guy who did some Jet Li movies, the director, I think. So that must have been part of it. But horrible movie overall.
It's got that. It's like a D grade Paul W.S. Anderson film.
Yeah, it's a lot like that. Yeah.
It's like a D grade of a D grade.
Yeah, like a movie that a D grade movie calls D grade.
Yeah, it's so unremarkable that it's remarkable.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
I'd love to see what your thoughts were. If you're actually coming at it objectively and saying what your honest opinion of Doom is.
Based on that, I would probably enjoy it because I remember watching Clash of the Titans and having the best time of my life with that film.
In the similar ballpark.
And what I will say for this above that is it's a little older than some of those movies. It still employs a lot of practical effects and there's some cool kind of monstery stuff in it. And it's got Rosamund Pike, which is always great. I also watched, again with someone who had not seen it before, someone who does not love horror movies, It Chapter 1. This fucking movie is already so iconic to me. Sitting down and watching this again was such a pleasure. I think I only saw it twice in the cinemas, 2 or 3 times.
And you haven't seen it since?
I have not seen it since.
Nice.
And it's just, I love every second of this movie. It's so great. Just those kids, man, that cast of kids. I can't think of a non-MCU sequel that I've been so pumped for besides It Chapter 2.
Totally.
Almost in my lifetime. And a big part of that is how dangerous that movie is. They could fuck the entire thing up. Just
easily. Just
with the whole switch of the cast and the actual material that comprises the second half of that book or the second part of the story is definitely the weaker one on page. So, man, I hope they can live up to that movie. I love it so much.
It was weird. I remember watching that for the second time in the cinema, and I was absolutely blown away by it in the first viewing. Second viewing, I watched it with some people that generally enjoy horror films, and I've gone to see a lot of horror films with, and they weren't really impressed by it. And that really soured my experience, particularly if you're they were watching for the first time, I was watching for the second time. You get that thing in your brain where you want them to enjoy it and you want to
as much as you did.
Yeah, exactly. Totally. And if they don't, it really sours and
you're reading their reactions kind of thing.
This is where
disappointing.
This is where we differ, and what makes me a worse person than you is I don't sour on the movie, I sour on the friends in that situation.
Yeah, you'd be like, I respect you a lot less now.
Yeah, you can leave now, guys.
I just start out with such a low respect for all of you.
Like I said, I was watching it with someone who's not super into scary movies, and that part especially was such a joy. The crooked lady in particular, I think I've burned into this person's brain forever, which I love. And finally, I checked out the first 2 episodes of Jordan Peele's Twilight Zone.
They're available for free, right?
On YouTube, the first episode, yeah.
I'm going to watch that tonight.
Otherwise, CBS All Access.
Any good?
Yes.
You want CBS All Access?
Any good? Absolutely not.
And I was going to say, holy fuck.
Yeah, quit shining a spotlight on my viewing habits, Judge.
It's like every single episode.
I have to make it known.
I have to make it known. Fucking copyright lawyers.
Where did you watch this?
What was the medium?
How many more clues do I need to give you?
My uncle works at CBS. Both of them were very good, fantastically produced. Neither of them were great. One of them was sort of a remake of Nightmare at 20,000 Feet, the one with William Shatner on the plane, the gremlin on the side of the plane. And then later in the Twilight Zone movie with John Lithgow, directed by George Miller, which is really a fucking best segment of that movie, so well worth watching. As a bit of a different spin on it, starring Adam Scott. And the other one was with Kumail Nanjiani and Tracy Morgan. Yeah, like I said, both of them good, worth a watch. And I'll definitely keep watching the rest of the series. Neither of them mind-blowing.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. There's something
Damn,
about
kinda
this series. There's something about this series that just has not as yet captured my interest.
Is it the fact that we can never watch the trailers because they're all region locked?
That might have something to do with it. I don't know. It seems like right up my alley. It's Jordan Peele, who I really enjoy. It's kind of spooky, weird fantasy, sci-fi, horror. Those are all like some of my favorite genres. It seems like the melting pot of everything that I should love, and yet, just even on a concept level, it doesn't really grab my interest, and I'm not sure why.
I would definitely say give it a go, because with anthology series, just like we had with Love, Death, Robots very recently.
There's some good ones.
Yeah, there's good ones, there's bad ones, but the point is, whatever one there is, there's always a different one next. So it's always something to look forward to.
Cool.
How about some news?
Wow.
Let's do some news.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
Can I also mention, and I don't know whether this means anything to either of you in terms of what I've been watching this year, because I didn't want to mention it in trailer time because I felt like it would have been a bit of a derailment, like right now. I've been rewatching the Borderlands 3 announcement trailer, the development trailer, as well as they've got 2 trailers out now. I don't know if either of you have played Borderlands before.
I literally know about Nintendo, and that's it.
Yeah,
I'm
definitely
plays
like
it.
I played a couple hours co-op on one of them.
Okay, yeah. I mean, this is heralded by a lot of people to be one of the better games of the last 10 years.
Pretty unique.
Borderlands 2.
So that's sort of cel-shaded art style, right?
Very
Yeah.
unique art style.
Yep.
Really awesome mechanics in terms of they do this auto generation for guns. You get all these like different weird and wacky guns, and there's and I mean beyond that, just the story and the writing and all that is really spectacular. It's just a very fun, quirky, odd game. So I don't even know how many years people have been waiting for the third one to come out, because Borderlands 2 must have come out maybe 5-6 years ago.
Ages ago, yeah.
Yeah. And so, oh God, it would even be more than that. So yeah, the trailer's just dropped. I think that they're gonna hopefully announce the release date very soon. But I mean, that thing has gotten me so excited. I must have watched that trailer and 10-15 times in the last week.
You nerd, man. What console are you playing that on? PC?
No, I have an Xbox.
Xbox.
Yeah.
What are they up to now? Xbox One, right?
They're
yes.
up to Xbox One.
Up to Xbox One.
Yeah.
Fucking Xbox, man.
I always think it's still up to Xbox 360, but
No,
I'm just not across that.
There was, I think someone
choose not
explained
to.
it. I think someone explained it to me, and it was like, oh yeah, I'm just not smart enough to get that. Because they explained it, and you're like, oh yeah, that makes total sense. But now that I think about it, nothing comes to mind. So
Well, they had the first Xbox, and they did a 360, and they're back at one.
that wasn't it. But I mean, it's not bad.
Steady on Tony Hawk.
Yeah.
Alrighty, on to the news. First up, we have a metric fuckload of new Avengers posters.
Yes.
Yeah, seriously.
What's it, about 40 posters or something? So these are the character posters, just little portraits of all of your favorite guys. There's just the posters themselves aren't remarkable. Like I said, just headshots. But there are a couple of takeaways here. We see that it's divided into 2 camps. The color ones and the black and white ones, representing who's alive and who's dead. They all say avenge the fallen. I think the A's in the wrong place, honestly, for that. But whatever. So we see here that Tessa Thompson's Valkyrie is still alive. So presumably we can expect an appearance from her in Endgame.
That's what everyone was talking about.
Well, because that was one of the big mysteries at the end of... Because
in the beginning sequence,
before the snap, everyone was wondering: is she alive? Is she dead?
Well,
Where is she?
I think even when in that opening sequence on the Asgardian ship,
that's what I was referring
everyone.
to.
Oh, okay.
Even before the snap.
Yeah.
But
at the beginning, you might as well say at the beginning.
Specifically, that scene takes place directly after the ending of Thor Ragnarok, which had all of those other characters, Meek and Korg and all of that there, and none of them appeared in that scene at all, not even as dead guys on the floor like all the other Thor characters.
So that's Korg.
I think sorry?
Where's Korg?
It's a good
with
question.
Valkyrie.
Hopefully.
Where's his poster?
So that's exciting for a lot of people. She's a really popular character out of Ragnarok. So it's cool to see that she's alive. I don't know. I kind of liked that they kept it as original as possible. So as many of the kind of original cast of Avengers as they could get to. I don't know how I feel. Sorry,
Who did they miss?
Like Peter Dinklage's
as close.
dwarf.
Did I not just say as close?
No, I'm just kidding. I just find it so funny that they introduced that character in that film.
Oh no, I was just talking about with the people that have survived. It seems to be, with a couple of exceptions, pretty much the original Avengers.
The original 6 have survived.
Yeah.
And we also see that Shuri is dead.
Yes,
Shuri, and also
the Wasp.
Ant-Man's
Wasp.
Which is
Ant-Man's friend.
I was trying to think of her name and I couldn't.
Girl Ant-Man.
kind of an extra bummer after they killed T'Challa at the end of Infinity War, which I don't think anyone expected because of the runaway success of Black Panther.
Mm-hmm.
So now they've taken kind of the other big character, or one of the other big characters that was in Infinity War, and just been like, yeah, she's gone too.
Yep.
Because we didn't see really what happened to her at the end of that movie.
Did you guys notice what she's wearing in that though?
Who's that?
Shuri. She seems to have like some kind of like Black Panther helmet on or something like that.
That's part of her costume.
She had that in the film, didn't she?
Yeah.
Did she?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, maybe I'm just remembering wrong.
Yeah.
It has been at least 3 or 4 months since I've seen it.
Yeah, it does look like you can slip that helmet right on top of it, though. Eh?
Yeah, seriously.
So could be something down the line.
Did you see somebody put Drax in a Marvel group, and it's like, guys, I can't see the poster. Like, who's on this poster? Referencing the joke.
Funny joke.
Yeah. I thought that was good. I got a little.
Yeah, that's good. There was a great fan made one of Goose the cat.
Oh yeah.
as being dead, which is cute.
The more hype that Goose gets, the less I like that character.
We also have on here Happy Hogan, Pepper Potts, and Wong, which I think is so funny.
And now, when I watched Infinity War the other day, I watched all the deleted scenes, and one of them, Happy Hogan, is that park scene at the beginning. Has another
he's in
whole
there,
bit. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see how much he is in Endgame, because he was, he's in the script for Infinity War. He was just cut out in the edit bay.
I'd like if they gave Hogan a little bit, Happy Hogan a little bit of something to do. Like, because I always really enjoyed that character. I thought Jon Favreau did such a wonderful job as him.
Yeah.
So I'd love it if he had some kind of job.
Yeah, I love
One
that
job.
he had a bigger role in Homecoming. That was a lot of fun. Pepper Potts, I think, will definitely have a much more sizable role. She's Gwyneth Paltrow has revealed stuff on Instagram of her in something resembling an Iron Man suit. So she's definitely gonna have more to do. We done with those?
Yeah.
I'm happy. Yeah.
I'm just amped.
Oh, it's so close.
I'm just
It's
so excited. And I
it's
love
bizarrely close.
We're in the
Somebody
month.
laid out all the posters where it was like 50, the two sides, and I was like, holy shit, there's a lot of characters.
Perfectly
in this
balanced
movie.
as well.
Crazy,
Wow.
And I think that one of the really crazy things about this is that the marketing campaign has been really succinct and very, it's just very
Understated.
precise. Yeah, exactly. Which means that it doesn't feel like it's around the corner. Like, I mean, this feels like the kind of marketing campaign that you'd put out 3 or 4 months before the movie. And when did they drop a trailer? It's gotta have been like a month or 2 before.
Yeah, I mean,
Like their first major
not
trailer?
long.
Yeah, like it's actually, the more I think about it, the more crazy I find it that this is happening next month.
No.
No, this month.
Yeah. What about fucking 3 weeks? Jesus. Okay, so what did Infinity War make in the first weekend? Was it 500 million globally?
Don't
It
recall.
was.
It was something obscene.
Like, I can't remember if that's the opening weekend or the opening week, but they're saying that this one is on track to make 800 million in the same amount of time.
Projections are making this look like potentially the biggest movie ever, which is.
I mean, do you
Do
guys
you think it
think?
could beat Avatar and Titanic?
I mean, it's got to beat Infinity War, right? I mean, that movie's had so long for everyone to have seen it in cinemas several
just
times,
wonder-
and then everyone to have seen it outside of cinemas and maybe get more interest in this one.
But like, like Empire Strikes Back grossed more than Return of the Jedi. I'm pretty sure Matrix Revolutions or the middle one grossed more than the third one. Like,
Don't think Two Towers outgrossed Return of the King though.
yeah, you probably. I think you're right on that one.
I mean, if you
think
took the overall lifetime of the movies, you'd probably have a lot more people that are a fan of Two Towers. But in terms of box office haul, I think Return of the King would have done it.
But that final one, like, I wouldn't be surprised if it, hit 1.8, 1.9 billion, but didn't
Do you know what the
eclipse
stats? I
Infinity
think a
War.
more apt comparison. Do you know what the prequel stats are?
Revenge of the Sith grossed the highest. Oh no, sorry, Phantom Menace grossed the highest.
Yeah, totally.
Phantom Menace.
Actually, that makes a lot of sense.
Up until Force Awakens, that was the highest grossing Star Wars film of all time.
But it's just so hard to compare any of this to those. Like, there's 4 Avengers movies, but there's 20 other Marvel movies that all fit in some other way.
It's all and this is all analysis on social media engagement and viewership and all that kind of stuff. So these guys know what they're doing. And
I can't imagine that this isn't going to be absolutely massive. Like, when was the last time that there was a movie event quite like this?
Probably Force Awakens.
Yeah, it'd have to be.
That was the last real event movie of this level.
There was never one like this.
Or Infinity War, obviously. Not including that, I'd say Force Awakens.
Yeah.
In other box office news, Captain Marvel is set to hit the billion about this week, I think. What were our we had a bet on that one. What were our projections? That was 900.
1.1, 1.125.
Okay. So hopefully it slows down very quickly, and I'm winning this one.
You better hope.
We set a date to
end of May.
End of May.
Was it last day of May, was it?
Yeah, okay. All right, in more Marvel news, Angelina Jolie is in talks to take a starring role in Marvel and Chloe Zhao's The Eternals. Now, this is one of our Phase 4-ish movies in the future we don't know much about. We have the writers and the director, that's about it.
Now, the Eternals, these sound like a little more like DC-esque, like godlike.
Well, funny you should say that. They are created by Jack Kirby, who's a big hitter in both companies, but he's probably most well-known work is the Fourth World, I think it's called, in DC, which is all of the Dark Side and Apocalypse and the new gods,
the cosmic entities.
So a good comparison because the Eternals are they're a lot like the Inhumans. I don't know if you remember much about them.
They're an offshoot of humanity, aren't they?
Like the Celestials, who have been touched upon briefly in here and there in the MCU, millions and millions of years ago, experimented on early humanity, and they're an offshoot. They're basically like They're kind of pal around with like the Greek gods and stuff like that. They're eternal, immortal, and they have all your standard stable powers, super strength. They can fly, they can teleport, whatever. They have a really interesting history in the MCU that I was doing a lot of reading on today. Actually, that I think this movie could, depending on its scope, could be massive and really expand the scope of the MCU into places like just all throughout the universe's history. An interesting note is, so they're kind of the dark flip side of the Eternals is the deviants, like the evil race of them, and Thanos is half eternal, half deviant, or he has the deviant gene. He is an eternal essentially.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So this movie, which I kind of previously looked at as a real outlier in the Marvel cinematic output, could have a really interesting lead in there, kind of exploring more of that stuff.
So more than likely, Angelina Jolie will be recreated in a CG form, similar to what happened with Josh Brolin.
No, the Eternals just look human.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right. So are the deviants the one that look?
They're more monstrous looking. Yeah.
Okay.
So his deviant gene is what makes him all grimacy.
I got the sense that Thanos was. I thought that's just what Titans look like.
Yeah, that's what I thought as well. So
yeah, so from the reading I did, he's the son of 2 Eternals, so they would just look like humans, I think. But he has a deviant gene somehow. Angelina Jolie presumably would be playing Cersei, who's just one of the main Eternal characters.
Having been the only one of us that's actually watched Inhumans, does this particular branch worry you?
No. I
gives you a bit of hope that it's been.
It's all in execution.
Exactly. I relish the idea to see someone do something like this well, because the Inhumans, there's a lot of potential there. But
yeah.
So let's break this down. So I think it sounds like we're all, Connor may be a little bit skeptical, but I think we're all pretty bought into this idea of the Eternals.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about Angelina Jolie coming into the MCU. Do you think that's a pretty big name? That's a
Heavy
it's a
hitter.
big star. And how many of those have we had, really?
Well, it's hard to tell because, I mean, Robert Downey Jr. now is
He was pretty down and out, though, when he got cast.
Yeah, if I can finish.
Yeah, sorry.
I was going to say, he's a really big star now, but, that's largely because of, of Iron Man, of what that brought him. I mean, Chris Evans was relatively well known, but certainly not what I would consider a heavy hitter. I mean, a lot of the stars of the MCU now are stars because of the MCU. So, I mean, I don't know if there's been someone with this kind of pedigree that has come in as a main character.
Downey Jr. is working and successful nowadays because of the MCU. He was always a big movie star, though. Other than him, everyone's been made by the MCU.
Zoe Saldana, there's an argument there. There's an argument there.
I'd say she's on the same, that's kind of Chris Evans level, though, like a working actor, a familiar face, someone you've seen
Pratt,
in this and that.
he falls into the MCU camp.
Made by the MCU. Samuel L. Jackson is probably...
Yes.
Who I would consider to be one of the... He's in a weird kind of position because he's so prolific.
I don't think I'd ever heard of him before Iron Man.
Yeah. I mean, he's so prolific and he doesn't seem to discriminate with roles. Like, he'll take a leading role. He'll take a supporting role. He'll take, like...
Got to pay those bills.
He'll be in The Hitman's Bodyguard.
Yeah, well, exactly. I actually didn't mind that movie. So I think that
But he's also got a unique role in the MCU where he's like, he was that guy connecting everyone up. So he was just kind of cameoing in every movie.
Yeah, but I mean, he's still a main character.
Definitely.
And he's probably one of the heaviest hitters outside people that are made through the MCU. So yeah, look, I think this is really interesting. Can I just address something? Because I think that's about all the MCU news that we have. There was a comment on one of our videos about us being, I guess, down and out on the MCU. We made some comments last episode that we were. My main sentiment was you either live long enough, or you die the hero. You live long enough to see yourself become the villain, type thing. And
I didn't see those comments.
Well, this response was basically that MCU deserves better goodwill than that. That it has done so well in the last 10 years that it is delivered on so much that we should have confidence in it going forward. And I'd just like to clarify that I do have confidence in the MCU. I mean, what they are undertaking right now and what they want to undertake is monumental. And I don't think there's really any other studio or production agency, whatever you want to call them, that has ever really attempted something like this. They kind of gave us the shared universe as it is seen today. So, I mean, I think that for me, it's not a matter of there's not the skills, but there's some level of, I guess, entropy to this. Like, I mean, you can't just keep going up. You can't always have success. I mean, I don't care what your track record is like. My thing is that, they will eventually hit a ceiling where they just cannot sustain. I mean, I think they broke the ceiling that I thought they would have hit ages ago, that most people thought that they were going to hit ages ago. I mean, Avengers 1 was this kind of like, you're going to put how many superheroes in a film? Pfft. I mean, and then they smashed through that, and now we're at Infinity War. So, I just wanted to clarify that, like, I think so
it's
much
healthy
faith.
to have skepticism. I think it's healthy to think like there's, nothing lasts forever.
Yeah.
Yes, there's goodwill, no doubt. Like, fuck, look at every title we put up. We shit on about the MCU all the time. We fucking love it. Like, don't get us wrong, but you gotta, some people have not liked certain movies. You've said Phase 3. Everyone has an opinion, and that opinion, if they continue repeating the same thing over and over and over and over and over again, and they find the template, they rinse and repeat the template too much, I think that's where it can go into mediocrity. But I mean, if they mediocrity more than it actually pummels into.
But if they want to avoid that, they have to take risks, and part of taking risks is that you never have 100% success rate with risks. Like, I mean, they're going to eventually make a misstep if they continue just like into perpetuity with these movies.
So I think nothing lasts forever. I mean, there's probably people out there listening younger than us who don't have this memory of Pixar being God.
Yeah.
Oh, they could do no wrong.
Exactly. More so than the MCU at this point.
I would say you're
with fewer
correct.
movies, but an absolute higher.
When Up came out, it was like bow down, bow the fuck down.
It was like
Kneel.
who question I like. Fuck,
and I think
was it.
And I think then came Brave, and I was like, okay.
I think it was Cars that was the death. Was like the beginning of the end.
Yeah, it was a tough one for a lot of people.
That was, and then particularly what they ended up doing with Cars, like the absolute and utter sellout nature of that franchise. I think it crushed a lot of people. Like that really, I don't know.
I've never seen it. So
Destroy. I've never seen Cars either.
And
Cars.
But it was just like it just felt very un-Pixar like.
Yeah.
anyway, if I had to put a face to my faith in Marvel as Kevin Feige and the expansion that Marvel's going through right now post Phase 3 with Disney Plus and like these 7 TV shows they've announced that are all going to be that movie level and continuity and just all this other new stuff they're going into. One man can only be stretched so thin. So I don't know how far his oversight's going to take all this stuff. And just the end of it is that I just got to treat each of these things as their own thing. I'm going to be skeptical of one and maybe looking forward to the other.
And another thing we don't take into account, it's like, yes, Kevin Feige, there's no doubt this man has an abundance of talent and he is the shepherd. But what about his team? What about mentorship? What about, it takes 300, look at those credits when you see a movie getting made. It takes teams of thousands of people to put these together. It's not like it all rests on one person's shoulders. There's got to be an offset. There's got to be some other amazing minds in there. And I have no doubt about that. And I think once Kevin Feige, I hope that they continue to innovate and bring in guys to supersede him.
There's thousands of people behind Superman 3 too.
Superman 3, that was
Or was it? No, sorry.
Interesting.
Superman 3. Fucking Spider-Man 2. I didn't even get the numbers right. Jesus, fuck.
That wasn't the slam donkey one.
No, it wasn't. It was
Spider-Man 3.
I
was like, Superman 3. I wonder if I've actually even seen that movie.
The notes that came out
Richard Pryor
were
one?
on Spider-Man 2, right? It was the Amazing Spider-Man, sorry.
Kevin Feige's notes.
Yeah.
Right.
Did you guys see that? Have you seen that meme of
move on.
Spider-Man 2 where he's swinging and MJ's hair's going the wrong way with the fan? Have you seen this?
No.
I'll link it to you guys. It's so funny.
Do.
You can't
That's
unsee it.
Unacceptable. So yeah, look, I'll ride this train until it fucking either slows down and stops or crashes and burns. Either way, I'm there.
No amount of goodwill can't be undone by the Inhumans. Next up, as Georgie mentioned earlier, we have a leaked image from Star Wars Episode IX. Georgie, you want to take us away?
What the fuck is taking them so long to give this name out? I mean, seriously.
I assume
Star Wars Celebration.
They're freaking out about it. What do we call it?
Yes.
What's not going to piss people off?
Okay, somebody said this, and this is what I think it's going to be. The Last Hope.
Oh.
I saw that today.
Oh.
Maybe The Last Jedi, The Last
Did you message
Hope.
us that?
No.
Okay, so I did see
The Last
that.
Jedi, actually, no, I retract that. I retract.
Has there been any confirmation that this is a legit poster?
This is legit. So it's not a poster, Connor. It is marketing materials. Benny informed me of the difference the other day.
Aren't you in marketing?
So there's a couple of interesting things in this. Number one, we've got the Knights of Ren, supposedly, right next to Kylo there.
Yep.
You guys pumped for the Knights of Ren?
I mean, yeah. It's like I'm so like this.
Don't keep asking that question because I'm going to be stone faced to all of it.
Yeah. Not yet. I actually am. I think that kind of branching into other areas of like kind of going outside the Jedi and Sith lore is kind of cool. And seeing some different takes on that. Like I really liked those throne room guards in the last one.
Yeah, they don't necessarily have to adhere to Sith, but they can still be on the dark side. I totally
that's
agree.
what I'm saying.
There's
Like,
some really interesting stuff there.
There's some room for some really interesting stuff there. Yeah,
I like the alien next to John Boyega.
that's a
He's
weird thing
really
to put on a
cool.
poster, but yeah, sure.
Benny, you've got something that you
Can we stop
you love in
fucking
this.
about? Can we just talk about the main thing?
Yeah,
What's the main thing?
you talk about the main thing. C3PO.
I want to talk about C3PO
Yeah.
with the bowcaster, I assume. Fuck yes.
C3PO will actually do something in this one.
Can only assume Chewie's dead, right?
Well, that's kind of that was my immediate reaction. I was like, why?
He's got the bandolier and everything.
Yeah, like that's almost certainly means that Chewbacca's dead.
Shit. That would be devastating.
I mean, they're just killing off all the old main characters. I mean, it's pretty much guaranteed to happen.
I'm kind of disappointed with Rey's look. I don't know if that'll maybe evolve, but it
It looks very airbrushed.
Well, not even that. It's right back to The Force Awakens, and I want to see this character evolve. And we saw her a little bit of a different look in The Last Jedi, and now we're going back. I don't know. That for me is a little bit disappointing. We'll see how the end product turns out. Another little detail here: red stormtroopers. That shit is fucking novel.
I don't think that they are red.
That is novel.
I think they're white with red glow
from that lightsaber.
Yeah,
you're probably right.
It's
still red stormtroopers.
It's completely new design.
Yeah,
I think it could be red because we got the white ones right next to them there.
I mean, possibly, but I do. Are we talking steak dinner here?
No, they've got
I'll sit out of this one, but you guys go nuts.
Steak dinner.
Do you want to do it?
Yeah. So,
okay,
so what we got to get the conditions.
This happened last time with our last steak dinner. It was very vague.
Yes.
All right, so there has to be like an entire like platoon or army, or that has to be. Or are we saying like that is the new look for stormtroopers?
Okay, how about this? There has to be at least one red stormtrooper, and it's not just hanging up. If it's hanging up, it doesn't qualify.
See,
it has to be a red stormtrooper.
It has to be at least like a platoon.
Walking.
Like it can't just be like a random red.
No, because you said the light. You said it's
but
not about the platoon.
There's more than
it's
one.
not about the abundance.
It's more than one. Like I mean, there's like when in the Star Wars scene.
Why can't it just be one?
Well, because I can imagine them like just like there being a different color random one. Like this looks like there's like an entire army.
So you're saying these ones aren't
I just don't.
red?
I don't want,
it's just the lighting, but there might be a red one in it, but that doesn't count.
Well, no, because this is all right. You know what? Fuck it. Yeah, red one. Are we one?
Yeah, because it doesn't.
Why would you put if there was like one red stormtrooper like in the background? Man. Why would you put that on the trailer or on not on the trailer on the marketing material?
The marketing materials.
You wouldn't. So if these ones aren't red, there's not going to be one red one in the movie.
Okay. All right. Fine. I will agree to that. I just want it noted that. I don't like it.
Mic drop.
Okay, so
all right,
we have to say, I challenge you to a deal. You have to repeat after me.
Repeat after me. No, all right, let's do this. All right, I'm going to say that there's no red stormtroopers.
And I'm going to say there's going to be at least one red stormtrooper.
This feels like your bet.
Hold up. As per this artifact, the red stormtrooper has to look like this. Can't have a visor. It has to be that exact one right there.
I really feel like this should be okay. Yeah, fuck it. All right,
yeah.
Check. I still think that
steak dinner.
Boom. Yeah, I still feel like what's just happened is the last bet we fucking made, which was like I picked 1 billion and you just picked 1 billion and one.
Oh fuck! It's the rules of the game. Man. If you don't want to partake,
if you're chicken. We also got a Y-wing on there, which is that the first time we've seen him in these new movies?
First time.
Yeah. Alrighty, next up.
No, wait a minute. Oh, no, you're right. Never mind.
Grace McKenna has been cast as a lead in Jason Reitman's Ghostbusters, alongside with heavily rumored Finn Wolfhard from Stranger Things. Grace McKenna, you will have recognized from a lot of stuff. She is a rising star in Hollywood. She most recently played a young Carol Danvers in Captain Marvel, and she was also one of the lead children in Haunting of Hill House, which she was fantastic in. So I think this is a great pick, and I'm pretty intrigued by the direction this movie's taking.
Yeah, that makes one of us. That makes one of us.
The whole Ghostbusters concept is that they team up with kids, right? That's the whole idea, right?
We don't know anything at this point.
I thought that's what they
it's
indicated.
Very loose.
Yeah, I don't think there's even been like official confirmation of any of the.
Pretty sure the writer said that.
Older guys returning. Well, if you can find it, you can let me know. But
because we did this story like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, this story was about. It was a bit loose. It was like a family or a group of teens or kids, kind of in a small town dealing with this stuff. There was a teaser which was just the Ecto one in a barn.
So George, I take it that you're not excited for the new Ghostbusters.
Not particularly. I don't know this. I'm just not vibing Stranger Things, and then I'm sort of associating that with this, because of the Finn Wolfhard rumor. So
I'll tend to agree with you. I think that Ghostbusters to me seems very set in its place. You know, it was a fun old film that I very very much associate with that time and with those actors and all that. You know, I didn't take any particular grievance to them remaking it. You know,
you went raging.
I wasn't raging. No, I mean, I didn't really care, to be honest.
I saw you typing out those YouTube comments.
Yeah.
You lefty.
I'll fucking get you.
You soy boy.
That's one of my most that's my new favorite word.
yeah.
I've been saying it all the time now.
You must love how much we get called it.
Just don't call your manager soy boy.
Randomly, have you done that?
It's all good.
Yeah, I didn't care about that. It just didn't really I don't know. I wasn't nostalgic enough to be either excited or outraged, and yeah.
And Jason
I
Reitman,
kind of feel a bit the same with this as well.
Jason Reitman did Up in the Air, correct?
Yeah.
You see, I don't think he's done anything that I've enjoyed since then. So his name alone can't carry this, and the Ghostbusters IP can't carry this for me. So if there's an interesting interpretation, a la the Halloween one that we saw last year, something that I wasn't excited for, but the interpretation and the, brought it forward, yeah, okay.
So he's
But
saying that he
so
did the
far-
front runner, which looked interesting, but I haven't seen.
You're getting...
Well, I just think
It's warming up.
The potential is there because just these two kids, after watching it the other day, the idea of anything even in that ballpark, I love. I'm not making the Stranger Things comparison so much because I don't like that show too much. But Jason Reitman is definitely a guy with a lot of talent. Thank You for Smoking and Up in the Air are fantastic.
Totally.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen one of his films since those because I've only heard really kind of bad things or mixed things, or there've been a couple that have apparently been really good that I just didn't have time to catch. So if this, falls more on the side of the good stuff of his, that's a high bar. And I just think there's a lot of potential in the Ghostbusters universe, and they're clearly doing something different. So I absolutely agree, Connor, that those old movies are really set in what they are, their place and time and those people. But every kind of early report on this is they're not just remaking Ghostbusters, which they did with Ghostbusters 2 and Ghostbusters 2016. So that's encouraging.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
All right.
Yeah.
This
Once we
story.
see a trailer, I might get it, but nothing so far. Nothing.
Absolutely fair. Number 5, Mark Hamill has officially been tapped to voice Chucky in the upcoming reboot of Child's Play.
Did you watch that Instagram video
No.
of him talking? I did. He pulled a creepy ass face at the end.
Fuck yeah.
Does he do the
I would-
voice?
No.
Okay.
He just does a creepy Hamill voice,
Okay.
which is in and of itself terrifying. How do you guys feel about this?
So if you have to recast Chucky, who has been iconically played by Brad Dourif in like 7 or 8 movies and an upcoming TV series, I think this is a fantastic choice.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people realize how prolific Mark Hamill was post Star Wars in voice acting.
And is.
And he's done video games.
He
He's
did the
done
Arkham
animated.
series, didn't he?
Yep.
Yeah.
He's done the Joker for 2 decades or more across animated series. Like, he knows what the fuck he's doing here. So he's obviously very talented with manipulating his voice. And he's a great name to have on that poster. It's an obvious choice. It's a very obvious choice. And it's interesting that he's gone down this path.
Very late edition though, because this movie, like we've already had the trailer ages ago.
Okay.
This movie was done for.
So
for a
what
while now.
happened with the
That's what confused
previous
me.
guy?
The trailer didn't reveal Chucky. So
No. What happened with the guy who?
Brad Dourif.
Yeah.
So the original. This is a remake. The original Child's Play continuity is still running. We got a movie last year or the year before.
Gotcha.
Do you think
and
he'll
there's
try
a
and
series on the way?
Gotcha.
Do you think he'll try and make his voice sound like the Dourif
I
style,
don't
or do you
think
think he'll take it his own way?
Imitate it. I think his performance as like the Joker is quite similar in a lot of ways to Chucky. So I think he'll bring his own thing to it though. Like
That's
Georgie
cool.
said, he's very respected in the voice acting community.
Yeah, no, this makes me a lot more excited for that.
Yeah, I'm keen for it. I love
I still
that series
haven't
a lot.
watched much Child's Play, so
It's a really good series to go through. I don't think there's like an actual stinker in the bunch. And the
Nice.
most recent ones, the kind of relaunch, have been terrific.
okay.
Anyway,
But
finally,
this is the big one.
great news. This
Should
is
I put this
awesome.
in the headline of the episode?
This should be the
Might
thumbnail,
have to.
Yeah. Jai Courtney, Australia's own, confirms he's returning for James Gunn's The Suicide Squad. So this flies right in the face of the most recent information we got, which this is just a full reboot.
This is a full reboot, yeah. Which I mean, actually, it doesn't technically, because I mean, you could just have the same actor play the same character, but in 2 different continuities.
Yeah, it's weird though, but
It's
part
very
of
weird,
this
yeah.
whole DC
But
not
it's the
giving a
same
fuck
with,
that I'm into.
Harley Quinn.
There's no confirmation that Harley Quinn is coming back, is there?
She's got Birds of Prey. I don't know if she's officially announced for this
Oh
one.
yeah, of course.
Because they've recast Will Smith.
Idris Elba.
But it sounded as though
That's
in the article that I
interesting.
read, it sounded as though Will Smith said no to this, which makes it sound as though they offered it to him.
Yes.
Which means that they might be trying to get all the original cast back anyways and just ignore that first one happened. They'll change who they want to change. They'll get rid of who they want to get rid of, and then they'll just keep who's working. Because, I mean, it would be a bizarre move to basically take... oh, shit. What's her name? Australian.
Harley Quinn.
No, that's not her.
Harley Quinn.
Harley Quinn's Australian, is it?
Margot Robbie.
Margot Robbie, thank you.
Harley.
It would be really bizarre. for them
That's
to
my
take
brain when I'm trying to think of people's names.
Margot Robbie out of that franchise because she was one of the only successful things about that movie.
In terms of recasting her, yeah, that'd be weird. Not having her there would be fine because this franchise is one of the least needed to be rebooted franchises ever because the Suicide Squad roster is by its very nature always changing. Because most of them get their heads blown up or just die on missions. So I find it so odd that they've recast Deadshot when you could just have Idris play anyone, any other C-list DC character, and that could be awesome as well.
I mean, as far as C-list characters go, Deadshot is probably one of the more recognizable ones.
But I mean, you could have him play someone who hasn't already been played in the last film by a different, more famous actor.
Yeah,
but I really enjoyed Captain
more famous
Boomerang.
than Will Smith.
Played in the previous one by a more famous actor.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I see what you're trying to say. I was just like,
Not trying to say, said.
yeah.
I really enjoyed Jai Courtney in the first one, which is not something I often say about Jai Courtney. I
Did you
thought,
really?
in so much as I enjoyed anything in that movie, yes.
National hero.
That's probably
Joy
a very
Courtney.
good qualification to
Yeah,
put
I mean,
on
you're
that,
looking
like,
for anything,
really
And
anything to hold on to.
I like the whole concept of Captain Boomerang. It's so silly.
I really don't like the concept. Can I just say, Captain Boomerang, it's one of the worst concepts of all time.
Well, you have not looked far enough into the DC stable.
Yeah, it's like they have got some proper stinkers there.
But I love that. I think that's perfect for Suicide Squad. Get the really reject characters and
But what about
portray them as reject, like this
Constantine
guy.
and like isn't he?
Isn't
No, he's in the Dark
Const-
Justice League, isn't he? I'm thinking of Dark Justice
Yeah.
League.
Wait, Constantine as in like,
But you can have
The Keanu Reeves guy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Is he part of the DC universe?
Yeah. He was
Oh, I thought he
initially
was a separate-
He was,
He
it
was
was
gonna be in
initially
the Del
Vertigo.
Toro.
A long time ago, they merged right into the main DC.
Ah.
And they were
universe.
going to do Guillermo del Toro was going to do Justice League Dark.
Oh,
with
no.
Constantine.
I'm not holding my
Swamp
breath
Thing,
for that.
Dead Man. Yeah, no. Unfortunately, because that would be fucking awesome.
I don't know anything about these characters, so
But I would like to. I'm happy to see him come back. I would like to see him in a much better movie than the last one. That's cool.
yes, sir.
All right. Should we have some time? What kind of time should we have?
It's trailer time. We're back to that. I've missed that little joke. What?
We haven't done
what
that. We haven't done that in years.
It's been about a year since you've done that.
What was the joke?
You know, like how you see, like, where's the sundial? Or, like,
Oh,
you
that's
always
right.
feel like
Yeah,
every
yeah.
time was like some little.
What is the temporal?
Maybe I should bring that back.
Nah.
Just a yearly appearance is good.
No, that was just me like having some kind of
Brain fart.
Yeah, I would have jumped in, but I couldn't remember if that's the last piece of news or
Conniption.
not.
All right, so we've got about 6 trailers this week.
Very horror themed.
They are all. I was going to say, I think they are all horror films.
Holy
To
shit.
varying degree. So first of all, we have the new addition to the Conjureverse. We have Annabelle Comes Home. I was promised by both of you that we were going to sit down and watch the previous 2 Annabelle films, which hasn't happened. So I have not seen an Annabelle film yet.
Did we promise that? I can't imagine agreeing to watch the
Didn't we?
I can't imagine to agree watching the first Annabelle.
I think you were more kind of like morbidly curious to see what I would think of it.
I'm down anytime
I
to
haven't
watch
seen
the
it.
second one, for sure. So this is the prequel of the prequel of the prequel of the prequel
Is this a prequel?
of
No.
the prequel.
No, I think this is actually after.
I mean, this is
pretty much
after the
everything.
second one, definitely.
After this is after Conjuring 2?
What trailer did you watch? Yeah.
It's
fuck.
set in the Warrens' house.
Yeah. Fuck.
The second one's set before the
What
first
was
one.
that
Sorry,
doing?
if this is a prequel, what is it a
You call
prequel
that,
to?
you call it you had a brain fart. That. I was watching this like, how many prequels are they gonna fucking do?
I can't wait to see how they. I can't wait to see how they're gonna like introduce to the nun.
What the fuck am I thinking?
That's what I'm curious.
Wow.
That looks like a surprisingly modern house for pre 1804.
I trust you so much, Georgie. I was seriously doubting myself for a second there. I was like, did I watch the wrong thing?
Didn't want to say anything to be
Can
like.
I tell you what? Maybe part of the reason why I was thinking that was I was so underwhelmed by this, and I really think the Conjuring verse is starting to gas the fuck out.
That happened very quickly last year.
Very much felt like that with the final scare. It just felt so ordinary. And what I was really worried about was that, you know, they're just going to do the exact same thing with the exact same formula. And I think that it is probably time for them to spice it up just a little bit. Like, I think, I don't know. I don't know. It's going to feel very kind of, as you say, gassing out.
Do you know what this feels like? It feels like rinse and repeat. And we've done that 6 or 7 or 8 times now. And I think the concept, the feel, the tone, it hasn't evolved enough. It feels like very similar.
I think they had a chance to do that with The Nun, but I don't think they quite.
Well, and The Nun weaves into this narrative.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more with that narrative up to The Nun last year. I do think this has a fun element in that it's kind of Annabelle 3 and The Conjuring 3 because the Warrens are featured very heavily.
What do you feel about that? Like that for me,
I like
it. It feels like a crossover.
Yeah.
And also, I really like the idea that who knows how much it'll actually feature in the film, but that their little room of horrors is involved in this. It's like a fucking evil, twisted night at the museum, you know?
Yep.
Like, I don't know how much of this is just going to be Annabelle, but it seemed pretty strongly hinted at that it's going to be a lot of the stuff that they've collected.
Because there's
over the
that
years,
line where they're
which
like,
I think is really
what
fun.
did you touch? And she just goes, fucking everything.
Yeah. So I think that could be a lot of fun.
yeah, I hope so, man. Listen, I'll definitely go see this. You know, once the lights go down, I'll get excited and there'll be some good scares, I hope. But I don't know, man. I would have loved to have seen a Conjuring 3 as opposed to what this is.
There will be a Conjuring 3. I'm fairly
hope
certain
so.
that is coming.
Okay.
But I like this as kind of a mid thing. It's written and directed by Gary Dauberman, who is a long-time writer in the Conjureverse.
Yes.
First time directing. He wrote Annabelle, Annabelle Creation, The Nun, and Annabelle Comes Home.
So
And-
he's in. If we're going by that
It's a
pattern,
25%
this should be yeah.
He also co-wrote It. So I don't know how that throws things off, but yeah. Again,
Who is this guy?
first-time director, so who knows how that'll go. Because Annabelle Creation, my favorite Conjureverse movie easily, I think, was just purely the strength of the direction. Was what really brought that home for me.
Cool. Well, next we have another horror film. Scary Story. I didn't even
She
fuck anything up.
sells
I just
seashells.
stopped. Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. So this is directed by someone I can't remember the name of, and
Couldn't pronounce it anyway,
And features
Probably
a bunch of
wouldn't.
people.
because he's
and also I guess produced or co-directed or something by Del Toro.
produced, yeah.
Produced. I hate when that happens because I just want to know who directed it, and they're like, this is the director, no name, and Del Toro, and they don't say that it's produced or anything like that. They kind of let you believe that maybe it's directed by. I think that's such a kick in the balls to the guy that actually directed it, though.
Oh, totally. It's like from James Gunn, the director of Guardians of the Galaxy, Brightburn,
Yeah,
directed
like,
by some other guy.
He's like, he
Well,
didn't.
come on. They know where they're at in their careers. You know, it's not like you're going to put on
yeah, I
Joe
don't- I don't
Schmo.
think they'd be
That's
too fast.
fine, but it's also just not. I think it's still a kick in the dick. Like that's such a
like you not saying his name and just talking
like me
about
saying.
Guillermo
Well,
del Toro.
but I mean, but that's my point. Like all the marketing material is such that all you remember is Del Toro.
I'm not against
Andre
it.
Overdahl is
You got to
gonna be
market it,
pronounced
man. You got to
different way.
market it. Anyway, listen. Watching this immediately after Annabelle Comes Home, I was much more intrigued with this one.
Yeah,
I
think,
like the feeling. I like the art design of the creatures. I'm liking. It just feels a little bit different. And
I think for this one of the elements this is really cool is that it relies a lot on body horror. or like, you know, kind of monster type thing, like really kind of disfigured monsters. And I feel like what they can do is reveal the monster early on, and then it's not going to feel like, you know, a lot of horror films kind of fall victim to their own suspense, whereas that when you show the monster or the ghost or whatever it is, it's kind of this almost like anticlimactic moment. Whereas I think that if they show some of these creatures right from the beginning to the end, that will be terrifying, because they are really just
the
scary.
designs, they've captured the original illustrations perfectly, and there's a huge roster of these kind of monsters and the things that they can run through. So yeah, they can show them all throughout and not run out of them. Also, this director, he did Mama. No, he didn't. He did The Autopsy of Jane Doe.
Oh, right. Which was strong.
Yeah.
But it wasn't anything groundbreaking.
No, but I think working with this material and making something that's aimed at a younger audience, I think he could craft something really memorable. I'm really looking forward to this movie.
Yeah.
I am really looking forward to this.
Mm.
What we got a release date on this?
Yes.
And that is 2000 and years AD plus a few more years.
It's
it's
I got it.
9th of August.
It's 9th of August.
So we live in
It's August
Australia.
9th.
It's going to be like December.
Yeah, we got a little bit of time before we're going to get onto that. And hopefully a couple more trailers, which would be nice.
Yeah.
All right, number 3. This is probably my favorite trailer that I watched this week. The Dead Don't Die. I am so looking forward to this.
What was it about it that sort of intrigued you?
I mean,
or
I
captured your
love
attention?
Murray. I really love Murray. I think that he's got such a spot on sense of humor, and to have him kind of paired up with Adam Driver is, I don't know. I really like the look of them working together.
Like visually, they work well as a pair. Like just in camera. I'm just on an Adam Driver high after Black Klansman.
Yeah, I think Adam Driver has always struck me as someone that is incredibly serious and just very, very zoned into his craft. And Bill Murray is someone that has always kind of been, not that he's not good at, or not that he doesn't take his craft seriously, but has always just seemed a bit more kind of aloof. And I would love to see them play off each other.
Driver is phenomenal. Like him alone will sell a movie, but the rest of the cast in this thing is insane.
Yeah.
And that is down to the director, Jim Jarmusch, who is one of the greatest living directors that we have, is very outside of his wheelhouse. This guy is... he makes movies that people don't really hear about. I generally even think.
Well, that's because you were like one of the greatest living directors. I was like, is he? What the fuck? Is he doing?
Absolutely. He works with Bill Murray a lot. He his biggest profile one was probably The Only Lovers Left Alive a few years ago with Tom Hiddleston and Tilda Swinton. You
went back through a couple of his recently, right?
No, I always kind of have him in the back of my mind. He's one of those directors on that tier that I don't want to rush through his movies. I want to save them. I
don't think I've seen a single one of his films.
No, I wouldn't expect so. Like he really is that kind of underground. But yeah, I am so keen for this because this looks like nothing he has done before.
Yeah, I was very impressed by the cast in this. I'm just, part of me just thinks we've been here and done that, this whole zombie thing, and I felt like I'd rather go watch Shaun of the Dead than put this on. That's the cynical side of me. So this one, it's going to have to really work hard to win me over because I feel like we've seen the parody zombie thing. It's done to death. So it has to be extremely well executed for me to give a shit.
Having said that, zombies in general are done to death, and I never don't want to see a zombie film.
A lot of them suck though.
Like... what's the one we've been waiting for? World War Z 2. The only reason why I want to see that is Fincher.
Oh yeah,
doing a zombie
that's not
movie.
one that I'm particularly interested. But I mean, like,
what was
that World War
just
II?
World War Z, as in some other no-name director comes out. I'm not going to give a crap.
Yeah,
I barely gave a crap about the first one.
That's a very similar
Me
situation. Because I would put Jarmusch pretty much up there with like that Fincher level of guy. So I think this movie, the trailer is not blowing me away, but that name attached to it is. And just a takeaway for anyone out there, go check out anything by Jim Jarmusch because he's amazing.
Yeah, we'll work through that.
He's not someone we're ever going to have an opportunity to talk about again. So
Might as well.
not on this podcast.
Jim
So.
Jarmusch.
Okay. Next, we have The Silence, which is the Netflix film that kind of feels like A Quiet Place.
So Bird Box came out and everyone said, "Oh, you're ripping off A Quiet Place." Netflix was like, "You think we're ripping off A Quiet Place with this? We'll show you."
Just you fucking wait.
Yeah.
Yeah. It seems really odd.
This looks like a stinker.
Looks like a post-apocalyptic type situation where there's all these weird little bat creatures who, if you make too much noise, they'll come and get you.
You know what? The only thing
familiar.
about this that really interests me at all
Stanley Tucci.
is Stanley Tucci.
The Tooch.
I just
David
whatever he is in,
Conor McGregor.
I absolutely love. I just think it's like, and I don't know why. I mean, I liked him in what was it, Transformers 4 or something. I mean, that absolute
That
dog
was
shit
stretching it for me.
pile of a movie.
When he's got the
that-
drink on.
Yeah, the egregious product placement.
Yeah.
But even that, I was like, fuck it. Like, he's probably the best thing about this film.
I don't think even the Tooch can save this one, man.
I'm not saying I enjoyed the film. Let's just,
No.
calm
The
down.
silence.
God, it's got to be less of a task than trying to save Transformers, right?
Definitely.
That is true.
I'm a little curious.
I think this has enough differentiation between A Quiet Place that it'll like stand up in court.
It looks like there's a lot more of the.
It doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter that it's good. I don't even care. Like that concept can be done. But like seriously, when they've got the fucking leaf, the wood chipper and all the bats are going into it, I'm like, oh my God. This just doesn't look good.
A couple of things I liked in it though that weren't explored in A Quiet Place. Where like there's definitely more of a human element in here, like humans being potential adversaries in it. And I also liked just that one shot of, I think it was a Tooch with a gun, because I don't really recall that coming up too much in A Quiet Place. But just the idea of people in this situation, one of them has a gun, and how weird of a situation that is because you can't use it.
Yeah,
but it's still incredibly threatening. But
I thought that was a very good scene. Out of the entire trailer, that one scene where he holds up the book and says "shh" is a very cool concept.
Interesting, and I really like Kiernan Shipka, the new Sabrina the Teenage Witch. She's in this, looking definitely younger than she's in that series. I think it was shot in 2017, so not a great sign. Netflix probably just picked it up to dump it.
Yeah, probably. Well, in that case, let's move on to we go from that to my least favorite trailer of the week, Nosferatu. This looks bizarre and shitty. I'm assuming you put this in here, Ben. Not because it looks bizarre and shitty, but it looks kind of out there enough that it would have probably been you.
Oh yeah, I chucked it in there a week before I'd seen it, but just because based on the book by Joe Hill, Stephen King's son, a new AMC series. I've just been hearing a lot about it up to now. But yeah, it looks weird.
I've read a couple of books from his Heart-Shaped Box.
Yeah.
And Horns as well. That one that was made into Daniel Radcliffe. He's a really good author.
Yeah.
I mean, he's Stephen King's kid. That's pretty cool. He has some really out there concepts that work extremely well in a novel form. I'm not sure how well they work brought to film.
Well, also brought to a film that looks like it has a budget of about $5.
AMC series.
Yeah, that's what I said. $5. Like it doesn't look good at all.
I'm just saying it's not a film.
Oh, sorry. That's all right. That's what you were getting at. Sorry, my bad. I don't know. Like it just Zachary Quinto looks bad in it. I don't know. Like it just. I got really excited.
Nice to see him though. Actually,
yeah.
I was like, seeing an old friend. It was nice to see him.
Yeah, I remember you.
Glad to see you're still working.
Remember Star Trek?
I would have preferred him to be in something else. I like him. I just don't like him in this. And I got really excited when I saw it because I thought it was going to be like this kind of cool old remake of, or like a vampire like Nosferatu. But no, that just looks fucking weird. So
I have a lot of faith in just. Like I don't think this looked incredible or anything, but I think there could be some really interesting stuff in here. I don't know. I'm not sold on anything, but just the Joe Hill credential was enough for me.
How much of The Walking Dead did you guys get through?
Precisely
one episode.
I think
one episode?
Less than that.
Wow. Fuck. Yeah, I've probably saw 4 seasons or so of it. It's still going, man.
Yeah, fuck.
See, that's what really like surprises me. How can you just?
Is
stick
that
with
AMC? Right, so they need
It's their flagship.
they need a
man.
win.
It's such a big thing for them.
Is
that
it still
show.
big?
It's getting
Viewership
it's
on that has got to be
falling
just-
off, but for
Still
like
strong.
for every season, like it would outdo the last. I think until just about now. I think it's kind of finally, but they're still planning to do like 2 or 3 movies based on the main character who kind of left the show this year. It's a juggernaut.
Yeah, there's no doubt. There's
No end
doubt.
in sight.
All right, so our final one is Chernobyl.
Stellan Skarsgård.
Yeah. There's actually quite a few cool little actors in this. This kind of did the rounds on social media, actually, or at least that I saw, being like, you have to watch the terrifying new trailer of Chernobyl. And to be honest, as soon as I see a headline like that, I have an instant grudge against that film or their marketing team or whatever it is. As soon as I see like the most terrifying or you have to watch this trailer, I'm like, no, fuck you. I want nothing to do with this. But I watched it, and I was perfectly whelmed by it.
I think this looks disturbing as fuck because everyone knows Chernobyl just in general. I don't really know any of the specifics about it though.
Yeah, I went on a bit of a Wikipedia and a tirade, and yeah, it's so disturbing, man. Like what happened.
Well, there's those guys that went in voluntarily right after the event. That to me is just horrifying. What ended up happening to them, and
yeah, it was just an event that the world had never seen before. So it would be very interesting. I think Stellan, he's so captivating to watch. I really love that guy. So he brings a lot of clout to this. This is HBO, correct?
HBO miniseries.
So, fuck, man. I think this could be quite interesting and layered as long as it's got some interesting commentary on what happened, or it's got something insightful, or there's there's an extra dimension to it.
I think just like HBO, like talk about pedigree. I just think not knowing much about this story, seeing it presented this way will be like fascinating. And Jared Harris is an actor I absolutely love.
That makeup of that one person, like the corpse, that's really well executed and disturbing as shit.
Yeah.
I don't think they're gonna hold back.
No,
with
that's
any
not really
kind of-
HBO's MO.
Yeah.
Really kind of more terrifying aspects of what happened there. So that's certainly something to look out for. So that's all our trailers. Do we have any questions?
We do. We got one from Anthony DeRiso. Thanks, bro. How did we select these posters behind us?
How did we select these posters?
Yeah.
Actually, no. There was. I remember there was some genuine thought that went into that. Why we picked at least 3 of those posters. So at the time, we kind of allotted each of us one particular, I guess, franchise or trilogy or something like that we kind of
Took ownership of.
Yeah, it took ownership of. And Ben was Marvel, and you were Star Wars, and I was Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Those were our
Blade
kind of-
Runner was big at the time.
Well, yeah, Blade Runner
Pretty
was just
much.
like, I think it was unanimously enjoyed by all of us. And it was when we were putting up the posters that just kind of happened to be at the time, which I'm not actually disappointed by.
And I think it's in the genre film
Good
wheelhouse
poster.
that we sort of like to exist in.
I mean, I guess as a follow-up, I mean,
Yeah, so just for everyone listening quick at home, we're in our little set that you can see on YouTube. We've got Lord of the Rings 2 Towers posted behind us, Star Wars A New Hope, an old retro one that's one of those sort of hand-drawn ones. We've got Blade Runner 2049, and we've also got Age of Ultron.
interesting. I mean, it is genuinely interesting picks in terms of Two Towers and Age of Ultron. I mean, I am a bit of either a Fellowship or a Return of the King guy.
There were limited available options.
Yeah, I mean, genuinely, that's fine. And Age of Ultron, I think that there would probably be a bit of contention in terms of if you're going to pick something for MCU. But I've said this before. I really like Age of Ultron.
Everyone hates Age of Ultron.
I don't understand why. It is a perfectly it's a good film.
Don't write in. We don't want to understand why.
Yeah. But I guess my, as a further on to that question, if you guys were to replace any of these posters, or if you were to add posters, what do you think would be, what would you like to see there? Or, I mean, do you think would be more representative? We don't have horror up there, I guess.
Yeah, horror one would be great.
Don't expect any changes though. These posters, unfortunately, are not the proper one-sheet size, so my collection of 200 posters at home is of no help to us.
Yes.
We'd have to get
Sad face. You know what I'd love to get up here? I'd love to get Infinity War and Endgame. That would be killer. I'd love to get Hellboy
Yeah.
no.
and something else.
I'm just saying no to the Hellboy.
Oh, we didn't talk about the Hellboy R rating.
Yeah, so Hellboy's been rated R18 plus in Australia.
Crazy, man.
That's-
Like,
I'm so not excited about this film.
For regardless of that, for anyone not from Australia, we do not get R ratings ever.
or 18 in the UK, or 18. You have to be 18 or over to go watch it. That doesn't happen here.
What was the last R18 film? It was a Tarantino film, wouldn't have it been?
me look it
Yeah,
up now.
I think Hateful Eight
Hateful Eight, probably.
would have been R. I saw Lords of Chaos a few weeks ago. I mentioned that was rated R here. I don't think that's even getting a wide release though. I wouldn't even say we get a movie a year, not in wide release that's rated R.
Not a tentpole film or even
Yeah,
anything
definitely.
remotely close to a Hellboy IP.
No, it is nuts. So that Red Band trailer was,
What was Deadpool in Australia?
MA.
yeah, man,
So that means that this shit must be gory as fuck.
which was definitely hinted at by
The
the
MO.
trailer.
That's cool.
I don't know, man. I don't know if that's what I want from my Hellboy. It is. It's just a comic book. Fuck. That's scary.
Well, thanks for your question, Anthony. Guys, don't forget you can ask us anything.
Well, you
Anything
didn't
want.
answer. Oh, Ben, you didn't answer what kind of posters you
Oh,
want.
yeah,
Sorry to
sorry.
cut off your
Yeah.
outro
What's
there.
that? Sorry.
If
Yeah, we
you
did
could like
put- yeah.
have different posters up there, what would you?
Was I meant to answer
Oh,
that?
just like contribute. Yeah, we're asking you to.
I would like just a rotation every week, which we can't
That'd
do.
be kind of cool, actually.
Unless
We
Georgie,
need bigger poster boxes because this is
Yeah.
a specific size that isn't a proper movie poster.
the poster I have at home currently, I do have one poster box at home. I have Inception up at the moment.
Oh, nice.
Mm,
Oof.
yeah.
That would be a good one.
Mm.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, Endgame, Infinity War. Maybe Star Wars Episode 9, The Last Hope. Who the fuck knows?
Yeah.
What would you like to get up there? The Hobbit?
In my nightmares, sure. Fuck. Now that I think about it, I don't know. When Dune comes out, I want that Blade
Oh,
Runner
yeah.
replaced by Dune.
Doom.
Dune.
Doom.
Yes, Doom. I just really like to see The Rock.
I would.
Every movie The Rock has done.
I would
that's
vouch for that.
The new Doom.
I would vouch for that.
that. Can't really think of anything else off the top of my head. I think that I'd probably stick with sci-fi because I find that to be a little bit more interesting in terms of posters in general. So there you go.
Hell yeah. Thanks for your question, Anthony. Guys,
Hey, Georgie, we're not done talking about the posters.
hey, proceed with the poster conversation.
No, I'm sorry. Go
Poster,
ahead.
poster.
Please, don't hit me
Listen,
after.
guys, Facebook this weekend. Come check out Infinity War with us. It's going to be fun. And don't forget to check out our Us review. We'll be back next week. The boys Connor,
Bye.
Benny.
See ya. I just like the idea that every time one of us is talking, the other two are getting smacked in the face by the microphone.
Thanks for that, Benny.
I would love if that actually came true.
Yeah.